What's going on? So this is a video I've wanted to make for a bit about just how you rent a GPU server for Lumion. Now, some people may not really have too much use for this because if you have like a pretty good computer, then it might not be worth it for you to rent something like this. However, if you have more than one seat, more than one seat on your Lumion license, then what this will let you do is basically render twice as fast. So if you have one particular scene that has like 6 clips, your good computer can do 3 clips and then the render server can do 3 clips, or maybe you just don't have that great of a computer and you can't basically brick your computer for 3 days just to render something out. So this can really help you with that. The website that I've found the best, at least like price wise and just getting everything set up, is LeaderGPU. And what you can do is you can go on their website, go to prices, and then you're going to see a bunch of kind of like options here. Now in my opinion, this one here, like the 1 times RTX 3090, and I think something like maybe not that one, and then even something like this, like 2 times 2080 Ti. Those are the ones you probably want to use because Lumion can only use 1 GPU. So like getting something like this, like getting this 1080 Ti would be fine. And like I'll actually change this to we'll just say we're gonna rent it for like 12 hours just to kind of see what the price is. So hours 12. So yeah, renting for 12 hours, renting a 3090 is 22 euro, which if you're kind of in a bind, that's not that bad. Like if you kind of compare it to what you'd have to pay render firms. So yeah, you just kind of find the one that you want, and then it's good to go. And yeah, it's so this one you kind of see though, the 1080 Ti, one of them is 14 euro ish for like 12 hours, which pretty reasonable. But anyways, yeah, if you you say like, okay, I'm gonna get the 3090, you go order now, type in your email, click the terms and conditions, you basically say how much you want to get it for, you know, whether it's like, you know, how many minutes, that kind of thing. And then once you go through, you're going to get into like the payment step, all that kind of stuff, and you'll get an email. Now let me just open up my email quickly. So so you'll get something like this afterwards saying like, thank you for your order, your server is ready to run. You go to your control panel and you can click on that, and it might just take a little bit to get set up, but as you can see here, you get like an IP address, you get your name, the configuration, the start date, all that time, like what you've been used, that kind of stuff. It'll give you like up to the second how much time you have left on it. I opened this up 21 minutes ago. I'm going to walk you through some of the steps that you kind of need to just get everything rolling, because it is like almost buying a new computer in the sense that you are going to have to update everything. Now I have one archived here, so if I decide to put time on this, I can go right back into where I was and everything is kind of set up, no problem. So yeah, once you get to this point though, you can go to show login and password. So here's your host, and what you want to do is just type in remote desktop, and then as you can see here, so it'll say like computer. You want this, you want to basically take this host, put that in here, the username, administrator, so same here. I connect, and then it's going to ask for the password, so you click this button, and then you can see, or Control V to copy that in, and you hit OK, and you're going to see this and you'll say yes. And then this is kind of where you should be at. So this is, as you can see, this is not my computer. Like this is the actual server. So if I minimize it, there it is. And okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to open up Internet Explorer and I'm going to get Chrome, because the last time I did this, I found it painful to basically do all this. Yeah, it's fine. Google.com. So, okay, and this is another thing. It's in Dutch, so you want to make sure it's English, because I forgot to click that last time and it was a mess trying to get to where I was going. So yeah, first things first, Google Chrome. And yeah, you are gonna get like you're gonna get these weird, it's not weird, but you're gonna get Dutch like advertisements and stuff like that because this is in the Netherlands. So we'll run this. And yeah, like part of the reason why I like Chrome is because the translation on it is just far better. So once you kind of get that in, you can just tell it to translate everything, which at least I couldn't figure out how to do in Google or in Internet Edge or Microsoft, whatever the hell this is. I don't use that at all. So I only use Chrome. So it's yeah, it was kind of a mess. So this is the thing you want to do right off the bat. Then we're gonna do like Windows updates. We're gonna download GeForce Experience because you need to get the drivers. Then once we get all that stuff in, then we're gonna get Lumion. So that part's kind of out of the way, as I said. So now that we just kind of have that set up, like if I just type in YouTube. Okay, so yeah, everything is in English now, so that's fine. So I'm gonna close that for now. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here to updates. I'm gonna check for updates. And what I'll probably be doing is I'm just gonna be editing the video so it's not ridiculously long because we don't have to sit here and look at, you know, this downloading for however long. So basically it's gonna say like I try to do this stuff. So it's gonna look at retry on this. And then yeah, so I'll probably just fast forward through a lot of this, but basically what's gonna happen is we update, then we close it down, update, close down. It doesn't take too long. Like I think it's, you know, you will have to pay it technically a little bit extra right off the bat because you might spend like an hour setting it up. Now that I kind of know what I'm looking for and how to do it, it is a bit faster, which is why I wanted to make this video because I ran into a couple small problems that were easy to fix, but I think they took me like half an hour each time. So that kind of blew through a lot of the time I kind of said or like spend kind of doing this. So I will yeah, I'll probably just speed this up now. So what is really nice about how this is set up is last night it was taking a little bit longer than I wanted to do the updates, so I actually just went and suspended it. So I believe I should be able to just hit resume now, and it's going to take about 10 minutes. What I'm going to be doing then is I'm going to go back in, I'm going to keep updating. But I just kind of wanted to show this this because I really like this. So if you only use like an hour of it, you can say, okay, suspend it, and you can come back. It is just going to take about 10 minutes. So I will restart the video when that is up and running, and then we should be good to go. All right, so I am back in here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back down, and we're going to keep updating Windows just until there's no more updates. Because it will take you kind of like a couple goes to like reset, start it up, reset, start it up. Now, the other thing too is it might say that you're okay, but if you check for updates again, it may say like, oh, you're actually missing these ones. So it might say you're okay, but you want to keep checking for the updates. And if this comes back, okay, you're all up to date. So, okay, I thought I had to do it a few more times last time, but that seems to be good. So we're going to go into Google Chrome now. We'll set this as default. I will just change this there. That should be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to GeForce Experience. Okay, whatever. And we are going to translate this so I can read it. We're going to go to GeForce Experience, download now. And this is just going to get it so we have all the the 3090 drivers. So everything is up to date there. Now, in one of my previous videos, you'll notice that I said about the like the updates it has to be at. So if we go to update Windows again, or maybe not this actually, I think it's about. So I think if we go to about this computer, it'll say the version. Now mine seems to kind of stop at 1809. So I'm not sure why that's the case. Like maybe that's as far as like we can get with this one, because I could have swore that you could get like, you know, version 20H2. So I think technically Lumion is slightly slower without the you know, without having like that high level of or that like the newest version, I guess. But I don't think it's going to be a huge difference, and you are using a 3090, so it's still going to be far faster for a lot of people. So what I'm going to do now, oh, okay, so this is already, so I'm going to agree to this. GeForce Experience. Now, There is actually one thing you're supposed to do before the GeForce experience, but I want to show you because I think people are going to kind of run into this issue and they might kind of get them ahead of themselves and do the GeForce experience and then think that something is wrong. So I am just going to let this install, and then I'll kind of show you how to get around the error that was at least popping up last time when I did this. So yeah, I'll give this a moment. So preparing to launch, and we'll see if the error pops up. If it just goes right away, then we'll be okay. And I'll show you how to fix it anyways, because first time I went through this, I did have that error. So okay, so it doesn't look like it did anything. So let's hit the GeForce. Yeah, so the code execution cannot proceed because wlanapi.dll was not found. Okay, so at first I was like, what the hell does that mean? So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna say add roles and features, I believe it is, installation service selection, features. Yes, so we are going to go to wireless LAN service right here. We're gonna go next. I don't think we need to restart for this one. Maybe we do, but we want to do the wireless LAN service. If this isn't installed, GeForce doesn't work for some reason. I don't know exactly why that is. Like maybe it's only because of we're on like a server or whatever that reason is. Yeah, it's an easy fix, and then GeForce is working after that. So yeah, I don't think I'll have to cut this part out because it is pretty quick. And as I kind of mentioned before, it does kind of suck that you have to set this up. You might be able to reach out to them and they can do this for you. Personally, it doesn't take too long to do, so I just kind of said whatever. Yeah, so a restart is pending. You must restart the destination server to finish the installation. So we'll hit close. And what we're going to do is we're now going to go and we're going to hit restart. And then I go to other, planned, continue. And now it's going to restart. And so we're back at the home page here. And so I'll probably just give it a couple of minutes. So I'll skip ahead to that and then we'll hop right back in. So after we wait a couple of minutes, we'll go back here. We'll see if this is ready to go. So if it's not, then it's just going to say like, the server's offline or something like that. Normally it just needs a couple of minutes, but I think we should be good to go. Yeah, so this is what happens when it's not ready. So we will just give it a couple more minutes. Okay, so I just gave it a couple minutes. Let's try it again. And we are seeing the password, so that should be good to go. So I'm going to I'm going to go back on the LeaderGPU website here and just grab this thing. So I'm going to copy the password, put that in there. And you could put just remember me. It's probably the best thing to do because you might have to go out a couple more times. So we're going to let this pop open. Looks good. Server manager. So this will pop up. Let's see if anything changed here. Okay, so I think that should be good now. Let's try opening up GeForce. All right, so now that's good to go. I'll see if I can remember my login to do this. I think maybe I can just do Google. Okay, so that took me a second. I don't know why it's trying to make the thing smaller here, but if we go to log in. Okay, so I think I'm in. Yeah, again, I don't really know why it's doing this like buggy thing here. Maybe if I make it full screen, that might help a bit. Maybe just because it doesn't have drivers, so it doesn't like understand what it's doing. But we'll say got it. And then I'll hopefully like I said, hopefully this will kind of sort itself out. I didn't have this problem last time, so maybe it's just the order that I kind of did it in. Right, so that just completed. Now, something that is worth kind of mentioning is that if you want to know how long something took, I think this took about like 5 to 10 minutes. I wasn't really paying too much attention, but if you actually look on the video, like what the time was when I started the download compared to where it ended, just in the bottom right here, then obviously you can just kind of go like, okay, that's kind of how long I expect this to take. Hit close here. Does this, okay, I don't know why it just keeps doing this, but I think, yeah, I don't know. It's not a big deal though. The drivers are installed now. So it seems like everything is good to go. You have the latest ones. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop open my Google Chrome and I'm just going to find my Lumion download. So I'll probably skip ahead to when I have that because, all I'm going to be doing is going to my email, opening up the link to download Lumion 11, and I'm going to download it so that I can use this as one of the seats. And then, yeah, so I will, I'll check back in with everyone when Lumion's done downloading. As you guys know, it's probably going to take a moment. So yeah, All right, now something I'm going to mention before we're at this point now. So select destination location. For whatever reason, this only has like the local C disk only has like 50 gigs. So we are going to save it onto the D drive, which I've tested that before. It really doesn't slow things down that much. Like I was only getting like, it was less than 5%, which is, in my opinion, that's basically like a margin of error when I was trying like doing an SSD to a D drive. And I don't even know what this could very well just be an SSD. But for my hard drive, I should say, it's like it was basically the exact same amount of time for Lumion. So saving it on the D drive in this case should be fine. I don't really have too much information about this, but yeah, so just save it where there's the most room. The C drive on this only has 50 gigs. And it seems like 47 of them are taken up right off the bat. That might just be because of all the updates that we installed. I'm not sure, but we will. I'll wait for this to download. This will probably take another 20 minutes or something, and then we'll hop back in. Okay, so on the Lumion server, I have just pulled up Lumion. So I am going to hop over there in a second. This is my actual desktop, just because I want to show you how you can have two Lumions basically going at once. Something I did realize about the server, which is kind of interesting. So it uses a Xeon or Xeon. I'm not sure how you would say that, but I think it's a Xeon CPU. So it's a server chip. So the viewport absolutely sucks on the server, but it still has faster render time. So I think that's because once everything gets into the CPU or the GPU and actually starts rendering, it's fine. So I just want to show a quick example. So I'm going to go into the museum development, and I'm just going to render the first frame with 3 stars, 30 frames a second, 1920 resolution, just because we're going to look at the estimated times just so I can kind of show you. And when we do hop back in the server, keep in mind that I don't even think that that's running as fast as it technically could go, because we're only using version 1809, which I'm going to probably make a separate video trying to see if I can get it up to 20H2, because that's how Lumion 11 can like function a lot better. So, I mean, even I think it was like a 4-minute upgrade, and I think this one takes me like 12 minutes. So let's just render this out quickly and see. So 3 stars, 30 frames a second, render. I'm going to call this one test 1, and we're just going to let this kind of set up and get going. So yeah, so this right now, this is taking, let's say 11 to 12 minutes. So that's not bad. That's pretty fast considering it's 12 seconds. So it's taking about a minute per second of render time. And that's pretty good. Like I'm happy with that speed. Like if this was something I was doing for like a final project or product, then this is a speed that I'd be happy with. So let's just cancel that rendering for now. And actually, just to have a little fun, let's keep that going, and we'll hop back in the other one. So we'll have this going while the server's on, just to kind of demonstrate this. So here it's rendering. We pop back in here. Now I do want to just show you this. If you go into build mode, it is just melting. Like the frames are at like 4. So this is something that I don't recommend that you get as like almost a way around using Lumion's viewport. Like you still really need a strong CPU for this, it seems. So I will show the benchmark, probably just pull it up on the screen here. So if I go to edit clip, I think I made the other one 10 seconds, but actually maybe I didn't. So I'll just leave that at that. It's such a small amount anyways, it doesn't matter. So we go to render clip, and as you can see, everything is like kind of lagging. It's going slow. If we go full HD and we save that in, we'll just give this a second. And as you can see, now it's saying that the time remaining is about 7, 8, somewhere in there. So it is about 33% faster than my 2080 Ti. And that is actually, as you can see, it is actually slightly different. I'm not sure why the frames are a bit different. I must have had the other one at exactly 12 seconds or something. But regardless, actually, let me double check something. I feel like this looks slightly different. Is this? Why is precipitation off with this one? Let me double check this quickly. But regardless, you can see that they both are running and it goes fast. Hit that there. So maybe it's just like the viewport is too low or something. Like why is it? I find it kind of weird that the precipitation isn't showing in this one. Particle size. Okay, so I'm not sure why this one was set to 0 and the other one isn't, but regardless, we'll just turn this up quickly and kind of get rendering there. Oh, we don't want that though. So I will just go to this one, and yeah, that is really weird. I must have had something changed and saved in the other one or something. So let's just take a quick look at this though. I don't think this will change the render time that much. Yeah, so now it's kind of going down. And so this is kind of what I would expect it to look like. That's just a quick troubleshoot. But yeah, we'll call this one 7 or 8 minutes. The other one that's still, well, I guess I need to get this going in the background too. It is kind of weird having both of them flipping back and forth. But as long as you have the seats to do this, you can technically have 2 computers going. And what I love about doing it this way is, as I said, it's very cheap. Once you're finished, if a render takes you 2 hours, you can suspend the server and you can pick it up when you need to render more. So if you're paying for 6 hours, you don't have to use those 6 hours immediately. You kind of can come back to them. And yeah, so obviously I did the same clip here for comparison, but we can easily just do other clips kind of back to back. So you could have one finished file on your main computer. Then you basically have 6 clips. And then you copy the file, put it on like the server, like through Google Drive or whatever. You delete those 3, like the last 3 clips, the first 3 clips, however you want to do it, in that separate file on the server. And then you can duplicate the one that you have on your main computer. And then you could just delete the clips that you already have going on the server. That way you have one file with all of the clips in it, so you can adjust it if you need. But then when it comes to actually rendering, then you have 3 clips and 3 clips. So you can basically get, let's say that the speed of my computer and the server are the same. You're going to get your finished video twice as fast. You just have to combine them in something like Premiere. But the 3090 is faster, even without actually using the updates that it needs to go fast. So I think that you should be able to get basically if I can figure out a way to get the updates that are needed to get going on it, then I think that you should be able to get basically the renders done in 3 times the speed. So something that would normally take 3 hours is going to take you 1 hour now. That's kind of tentative though, so I will have to play around with that. But overall, I am really, really happy with this. As I said, the price is very reasonable. If you aren't able to get one of the 3090s and you have to get one that has 2 2080 Ti's, that's completely fine. It's not going to mess you up. It's just that you're only going to get to use one of the GPUs. So you might end up paying a little bit more because the way the LeaderGPU works is I could get 5 3090s, but it just costs straight up 5 times as long or 5 times as much money for the same amount of time. So if I was using something like Blender, I could use all 5 3090s. And so something that would take 5 hours to render on one GPU is going to take 1 hour. However, Lumion can't do that because Lumion is based, I believe, on a game engine, which is not that uncommon that it can't use 2 GPUs because it can just make things a lot more complicated. So if you have to get maybe the 3090 server is not available, I don't know how many they have. That's kind of one of the caveats of this. I don't know if someone can go in and get a server while I have it rented. I'm assuming they have more than one. I'd be shocked if it's just one 3090 server. But it seems like everything should be cool there. And yeah, so just to kind of recap, this is the server that's rendering right now. We have 3 seats on our Lumion license. So we're able to do this. And plus I could technically get a second server going that is downloading this as well. And what's really nice about doing this is that once you do it once, you can just keep reactivating that server, or at least have a server screenshot so that you don't have to keep installing Lumion, and everything should be good to go. So yeah, hopefully this helps people. I know there's a lot of people out there that use 970s and stuff like that to render, and it could take them so long to render this stuff out. So if you are kind of on a deadline, then what I recommend you do is you get everything done in kind of how you normally would, but then you can send your Lumion file to this server to kind of speed things up, because as I kind of demonstrated to you, the viewport in the server is very bad. You'll get a couple of frames because when you're actually using the viewport, I believe it needs a CPU, but when it's actually rendering, I don't think it's using that much of the CPU. And if it is using the CPU at all, it's probably just kind of using to help organize some information going to the GPU. It's not really rendering on it, so that's why you get those results. Yeah, let me know if this video is interesting. There is some things I might be able to explore, maybe some other websites, and just doing some other things with this. I am really happy with how this turned out, because even though it took quite a bit of time to actually set up and download everything, do the updates, within a couple of hours, you basically have a Lumion render farm. And as I said, I think you can just get multiple of these going. So if you have 4 seats you could theoretically get 4 servers going. So you could get basically instant Lumion videos that you just need to kind of do some minor editing to get them all working. Yeah, if this video helped you out, or even if you found it interesting, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. It really motivates me just to keep trying to innovate some stuff. Find some interesting ways to not only cut down on render times but increase the quality. Maybe just some cool stuff that I think is overlooked in Lumion and Blender. But hopefully down the road I'll be getting into Unreal Engine as well, and that's something that I can kind of help you guys get into. So yeah, if you are subscribed, I just wanted to say thank you for supporting my channel. I wish you happy holidays, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.